Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into an essential tool for anyone managing servers or networks, Nagios. Whether you're responsible for a single server or an entire network, keeping everything running smoothly is crucial, and that's exactly where Nagios comes in. In this video, I'll walk you through how to set up Nagios on a Linux system, and by the end, you'll have a powerful, real-time monitoring setup to keep an eye on your system's health. So, let's jump in and see how to make network monitoring as easy as possible with Nagios. Alright, let's get started by installing Nagios and the Nagios plugins on our server. For this, we'll be using the DNF command, which makes it quick and easy to get set up. Now, here's an important note. On a client machine, we don't actually need to install the full Nagios core package. Instead, we'll install the necessary plugins and the NRPE client. This NRPE client is only needed if you want to monitor specific system metrics on that client, like CPU load, disk space, or user activity. For basic checks like ping, HTTP, or SSH status, you don't need NRPE. But if you want a deeper look into a client system's performance, then setting up NRPE on the client is essential. Next, we'll modify the main Nagios configuration file, located at /etc/nagios/nagios cfg, to specify the servers we want to monitor. Each server we're monitoring will have its own configuration file in the /etc/nagios/servers/ directory, allowing us to manage settings for each server individually. And remember, setting the correct file ownership and permissions here is important to ensure Nagios can access these files securely and without issues. We have a pre-configured host file ready for one of our servers, so let's copy it over to the /etc/nagios/servers directory. This file is set up to monitor a server with the IP address 192.168.29.151. To keep things simple, we're starting with just a single Linux server and monitoring only basic services like ping, HTTP, and SSH. No additional client configuration is required for these checks. Setting the correct ownership and permissions is crucial here. Ensuring these are configured properly helps avoid access issues and keeps our Nagios setup secure. Now, let's create a password for the Nagios admin user. This step is essential for accessing the Nagios web interface securely. Our configuration is almost ready. Before starting the service, we should verify the configuration using the Nagios command to ensure there are no errors. Now let's start or restart both the Nagios and HTTPD services to apply our configuration changes. Open your browser and go to http:// localhost/Nagios. Enter your login credentials when prompted, and then navigate to view the hosts and services. Look at all the information displayed. This gives you the basic overview. However, keep in mind that until we configure remote machines, only ping, SSH, and HTTP checks will work beyond localhost. If your requirements are simple, then this configuration is sufficient. For monitoring multiple servers, you can create a host configuration file for each server similar to host 192.168.29.151 CFG in the /etc/nagios/servers/directory by copying and modifying it. However, if you want to monitor your servers beyond these basic checks, then client-side configuration on each server becomes essential. To enhance our monitoring, we'll add a few more configurations to the host configuration file for check_users, check_load, and check_disk. These functions will provide us with information about the number of users, CPU load, and disk space on the remote server or host. Since this information isn't publicly available, configuring NRPE on the remote server becomes essential for these checks. We also need to add some code to the /etc/nagios/objects/commands CFG file to enable these functionalities. Let's follow the on-screen instructions to make these updates. The server-side configuration is almost complete. Make sure to verify it before we proceed with configuring the client-side machines or servers. Now, let's open another terminal on the right side to access the remote server or client machine. As we mentioned earlier, the client machine does not need the Nagios core package. It only requires the plugins and NRPE. The NRPE client is necessary if the monitored system is under your control and you want to monitor services beyond the basics. For standard checks like ping, HTTP, and SSH, you don't need any Nagios or NRPE configuration. However, if you want to monitor CPU load, disk space, or user activity, client configuration becomes essential. Once the installation is complete, edit the /etc/nagios/NRPE CFG file to update the server information and other parameters as shown in the video. Since this machine uses /dev/SDA3 instead of /dev/DA1, we'll be modifying it accordingly. Now let's restart the NRPE service. Sometimes, you may need to enable and start the NRPE service immediately. From the server side, we're checking to see if NRPE is working properly. Excellent. It's working. Thanks for watching. We've covered a lot today, from setting up Nagios to configuring NRPE for monitoring remote servers. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tutorials like this. If you have any questions or need further clarification, feel free to leave a comment below. See you next time, and happy monitoring!